Right, we said earlier the domain is the value you put in and the range is the value that you come out. So for this question, if I'm finding for f of x equals x squared plus 1, the domain is 0 to infinity and it's curved brackets, so it's going to be curved brackets in my answer. They want me to find the range. So the range is the value that comes out. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to start with f of x equals x squared plus 1. I'm going to try, because it's from 0 to infinity, for 0, I'm going to try x equals 0. For that one, I'm going to try a largest number, like 1,000, and I'm going to see what happens. So when x is 0, f of x becomes 0 squared plus 1. So f of x, 0 times 0 is 0, plus 1 there. So my 0 value goes in and comes out as a 1. And my 1,000 value would go in. It'd be 1,000 squared. And then you add on 1. So 1,000 squared is getting bigger and bigger again. So 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000. All right, so it's 1,000,000 plus 1, which is a very larger than the infinity value I put in. So for that one, it would just come out as infinity because it's a big, big number. All right, if I chucked in, put 1,000,000 into it, 1,000,000 times 1,000,000 would be like 1,000,000,000,000, and then so that'd be even bigger again. You know, if I put a bigger one in, like 1,000,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000,000 is a quintillion, so that'd be a quintillion plus 1. So it just gets bigger and bigger. So for this question here, your range of this one, the 0 is the first one, and that comes out and gives me a 1, and my second value would come out and give me infinity. If I'm doing the same thing for g of x is 2x minus 3. I'm going to substitute in 5, and I'm going to substitute in, again, I'll put like a big number, like 1,000. So if I'm doing this times 2 times 5, take away 3, because I'm putting 5 in. G of x becomes, when x is 5, it becomes 2 times 5 is 10, take away 3 is 7. So this one is going to start on 7 now. And I'm going to put in a real large number, times a real large number by 2, so it becomes double it, which is even bigger. Take away 3 is not going to make much difference. So the large one would stay as infinity, because you're putting in such a big number. If I was sketching now, so that's how you do the range. If I was sketching f of x, all right, I'm thinking of this graph, f of x. So what do I know about f of x? It's called x squared plus 1. Its domain is 0 to infinity, and its range was 1 to infinity. So what that tells me is my graph, because it starts at 0, is going to be this side of the line. So it's going to be up here. If I thought what that graph looked like without sketching it, normally it would look like that and cross at 1, x squared plus 1. That's what the graph x squared plus 1 is. But all I'm looking at now, I don't care about the left-hand side. Our left-hand side's a load of rubbish in this question, because I'm only wanting it from x is 0 up. So I'm only looking at the right-hand side of that line. So I'm only looking at the right-hand side of the line, so I'm only looking at that one. Because that means the x values start on 0 and go across, and my y values start on 1 and go up. So I can forget about the rest of the curve. You're only sketching it. It's got to be for this valid domain and range.